Hello, America. I'm Daniel Brockwell, and you're watching the evening news on DJB TV. This evening's top story is a piece on Napoleon Bonaparte trial. It covers all of the action and features exclusive footage from inside the courtroom. For those of you who have not been following the story, Napoleon ruled France from 1804 to 1815 after staging a coup and declaring himself emperor. He had the support of the military and of the French people, therefore giving him the power to do whatever he wanted. He started the Napoleonic Wars in the early 19th century, which were against every European power. With his amazing military mind and strong army, he was able to conquer large quantities of land across Europe, turning France into an empire. However, his winning streak came to an abrupt halt in his failed invasion of Russia. His reign in power ended when he was defeated at the Battle of Waterloo against Russia. Napoleon is charged with hijacking the Republican spirit of the French Revolution and seeking to establish and consolidate a despotic regime in Europe. Here's our best reporter, Danny Brockwell, with the full story.
The trial is over now, but I'm standing outside of the very courtroom where it took place earlier this afternoon. Napoleon may have been a military genius, but he would have been taken back by the battling that took place in this courtroom this past week.
The prosecution and defense both prepared insanely well with the limited time they were given, and the witnesses worked hard to be prepared for what they knew would be a barrage of questions and a battle of wits. The first day of court came around and the mood was tense and excited. The courtroom filled with famous people from Napoleon's time and European history. The mean and intimidating bailiff watched for any sign of trouble. His experience has left him hardened, and he kept the court in line. The judge assigned was history expert Drew Husted, who was known for his knowledge and fair decisions. The court started with forceful opening statements from lawyers Grace Kelso on the prosecution and Chris Kimball on the defense.
And all the work he put into all of the countries he defeated. Ladies and gentlemen, Napoleon was not a despot. He was a leader of a revolutionary country and made it into one of the greatest nations Europe had ever seen.
The trial went on, and the prosecution seemed to get the upper hand early, as key witnesses such as Francisco Goya and Horatio Nelson slandered Napoleon, and the defense could get nothing out of them.
So day one ended with the prosecution winning most of its battles.
With a day of recess, the lawyers continued to work, and the defense conversed before the beginning of day two, knowing they had some ground to make up. Day two started to pick up with the amazing testimonies of key witnesses such as Jacques-Louis David, who uses art as visual evidence, and Jerome Bonaparte, who covered his brother's good name. These witnesses proved the defense to have a lot left in their arsenal.
The second day ended with a weary and battle-torn courtroom and a seemingly tied effort between the defense and prosecution. The world was excited for day three, in which the closing statements would decide the winner.
Defense has stated
The prosecution, Steve Day, showed what he was made of and stood up declaring Napoleon to have created a despotic regime, but he was undermined by the outrageous antics of Nick Federoff, who created many good points but ended the trial with a bang, exclaiming many famous modern Republican quotes.
He did it in the best interests of France. He shined 1,000 points of light down on the country. He said to the people, to the directory, that we're going to tear down this wall of poor government and put in strong leadership. And on one final note, may I just say that extremism in the defiance of liberty is no vice.
After the trial was over, Robespierre was declared the most valuable witness because of his amazing efforts to outwit the prosecution and defend Napoleon. Judge Husted was left with a very hard decision to make.
In the end, Judge Husted found Napoleon guilty as charged. So there you have it, one of the most important trials in all of history. This is Danny Brockwell, reporting live from the courthouse, DJB TV.
What an intense trial and amazing verdict, and we thank you, Danny, for your outstanding reporting of such a historic event. Now, in other news,